Okay, so diving into one of the most explosive chapters of ancient history, the First Jewish-Roman War. This conflict, stretching from 66 to 73 CE, really reshaped both Jewish society and the Roman Empire, yeah.
Exactly. It's hard not to be drawn in by how such a turbulent period redefined so much. The brutal Roman rule, oppressive taxes, and rampant corruption really set the stage for revolt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about it. It wasn't just a simple dispute. The heavy-handed tactics of Roman governors, take Gessius Florus, for example, pushed the Jewish population to the point of no return. People were dealing with violent enforcement and crushing taxation that fueled a deep-seated resentment.
And alongside that, you had intense religious tensions. The very presence of Roman symbols and disrespect for Jewish customs in Jerusalem stirred up serious anger.
Right, and it's like the Romans didn't realize that displaying their imperial standards in a sacred city was basically provoking a powder keg, yeah? Rumors of temple desecration added fuel to the fire. Really, it was a massive provocation.
That makes sense. But what's also fascinating is how internal divisions among the Jews played right into this. You've got the Zealots and Sicarii on one side, pushing for armed rebellion, while other groups like the Pharisees and Sadducees leaned more towards diplomacy.
Exactly. It's like internal politics also set a stage for conflict. The split opinions among groups, like Zealots versus the moderates, really complicated the picture. And don't forget that even within the rebel ranks, leaders like Eleazar ben Simon, John of Gischala, and Simon Bar Giora had their own rivalries.
Right. Speaking of leaders, let's not forget Josephus. His journey from a Jewish rebel to a Roman historian is one wild, ironic twist in the narrative.
Yes, exactly. It's like he went from being a general fighting for his people's independence to writing history on the Roman side. His works, The Jewish War and Antiquities of the Jews, are our primary windows into all this, even though his loyalties shifted later on.
On the Roman side, you have figures like Vespasian and his son Titus, who are crucial to the narrative. Vespasian started the campaign in Galilee, and Titus ended it by decisively besieging Jerusalem, leading to the fall of the city.
Right. The siege of Jerusalem in 70 CE was cataclysmic. Imagine a city torn apart from within after years of internal strife, combined with a raging assault by Roman legions. It's no wonder that the Second Temple fell.
And the destruction of the Second Temple really marked a pivotal turn, didn't it? It ended the sacrificial worship that was central to Jewish religious practice for centuries.
Yeah, exactly. The ramifications were enormous. Massive loss of life, enslavement of thousands, and the scattering of survivors leading to the diaspora. It changed Judaism from a temple-based practice to one that evolved into a text-based rabbinic faith.
But here's something I kind of wonder about. Some say that the war was inevitable, given the conditions. Yet others argue that internal Jewish divisions actually hastened the fall. What do you think?
Good point. I mean, while Roman brutality was a clear trigger, the fragmentation among Jewish factions definitely made a unified, effective resistance more challenging. It's almost like trying to row a boat with too many captains giving different commands.
I can see that. And it does make me question if a more united front could have drastically changed the outcome, at least internally.
Absolutely. That unity might have prolonged the struggle or even altered some battles. But even with a united resistance, the sheer might of the Roman military machine under leaders like Titus was daunting.
And then we come to the dramatic end at Masada in 73 CE, the mass suicide of the Jewish rebels there. It's one of the most harrowing episodes in this whole conflict.
Yeah, it's really tragic. The idea that the defenders at Masada would choose death over capture tells you how desperate and, well, committed they were. It's become almost a symbol of resistance and defiance in the face of overwhelming force.
And from the Roman perspective, the victory had its own set of consequences too, right? I mean, they celebrated it with the Arch of Titus. which still stands in Rome as a reminder of their might.
Exactly, but it's interesting how the war, despite being a military triumph, cost Rome heavily in both resources and troops. It really underscores how dragging down the eastern provinces could reveal vulnerabilities, even in a mighty empire.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost ironic. The victory was so decisive, yet so costly, that it kind of laid bare the challenges of governing a diverse, often rebellious frontier.
Absolutely, and while the immediate military victory boosted Roman prestige, Vespasian eventually became emperor. It's the long-term transformations that are fascinating. For instance, the war set the stage for a global Jewish diaspora and the emergence of rabbinic Judaism.
And historically, that shift altered Jewish identity forever. It's like a whole new chapter was forced upon them, a shift from temple-based rites to a more scholarly, text-centered tradition.
Right, and that transformation continues to influence modern Jewish thought and cultural memory. The war wasn't just a military defeat. It was a cultural and religious earthquake that echoes to this day.
Yeah, indeed. So when we look at this conflict, we see not just a rebellion, but a redefinition of an entire people's identity, and interestingly, even a reworking of power in the Roman world.
Exactly. It's like the conflict was a catalyst. For the Jews, it meant a complete reorientation, an end to political sovereignty, yes, but the beginning of an enduring religious tradition that adapted to life in diaspora.
Very true. And for the Romans, while it was a moment of triumph, it also highlighted how volatile the eastern provinces could be. They might have won the war, but they had to reckon with the complexities of ruling a multifaceted empire.
Right. And here's where I have a slight challenge to that view. Don't you think that even with these costs, Rome's response actually cemented their reputation as the ultimate empire? It was a demonstration of strength that, despite the losses, upheld their dominance over the East.
Well, yeah, but at what cost, don't you think? Yeah, that's exactly my point. It's a classic example of a Pyrrhic victory. Great for prestige, but leaving deeper wounds.
Absolutely. The Arch of Titus, while a monument of victory, also serves as a reminder of the bloodshed and cultural loss. It's a dual-edged legacy.
Absolutely right. And isn't it amazing how archaeology has confirmed so many details of this period? Excavations in Jerusalem and at Masada truly bring the brutality of these events into stark relief.
Yes, indeed. Those archaeological findings, combined with the accounts of historians like Tacitus and especially Josephus, allow us to piece together a vividly detailed picture of the time. It's like history coming to life through both text and ruins.
Exactly. And it highlights how our understanding of history is, well, always evolving. We get these bits of information from different sources, each with its own biases. For instance, Josephus's account, while rich, is filtered through his own experiences and eventual loyalty to Rome.
Totally. And that forces us to read between the lines, yeah? Even the revered victor's narratives, like those of Tacitus, come with their own interpretations of the events.
Yes, that's a critical point. So, wrapping it up, the First Jewish-Roman War wasn't just a failed revolt. It was a transformative period. It demolished the old order, shattered the Second Temple, and re-engineered Jewish identity, while also showcasing the might and, well, the limits of Roman power.
Exactly. It's this incredible clash of ideologies, power, and culture all crashing together. And even after almost 2,000 years, its reverberations are still felt today, not just in historical texts, but in cultural memory and even modern politics.
It really makes you wonder about the long-term impacts of conflict and the trade-offs between power and cultural integrity, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it's a perfect reminder of how history, with all its brutal clashes, shapes the very fabric of societies. The First Jewish-Roman War is a vivid case in point, one that continues to be studied and reflected upon with a mix of reverence and critical insight.
Right. Well, that was a deep dive into a truly tumultuous period. There's so much to unpack, and each aspect, from leadership to cultural shifts, opens up more questions than answers.
Yeah, indeed. It's like each event, each decision cascaded into a historical earthquake that we're still trying to fully understand. Thanks for unpacking this with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for the great discussion.